Hokage Hidden Ace, the time-traveling Hyuga who outshines Madara. Please like, share, and subscribe. Episode 91. Third Hokage, the Hyuga clan takes action. I don't believe they can't defeat him. Why should he refuse? The village needs the puppets you made, so you should obediently contribute the things and dedicate the secrets of the puppets to the village. Okay, Koharu. Third Hokage, who couldn't bear to listen, interrupted her. There is no point in being angry. If the puppets made by Shizuchi are really what Orochimaru said, then we must have these puppets in our hands. How to master it? Go to bed, Koharu said angrily. Tsunade definitely does not support us, and Hyuga Shizuchi has chosen to refuse to hand over the puppet. The puppets are in your hands. Only if you can master the core secrets of these puppets is it called control. Otherwise, everything you say is in vain. At most, you can just take the puppets and use them. Rather than using puppets, Third Hokage and others definitely want to master the secrets of puppets themselves. Only in this way can the village continue to make its own puppets instead of borrowing Jingyi's hands. As for the rest, F4 Tiandan never thought that since Hyuga Jingyi can make such a puppet, he must have the core secret. As long as we get the core secret, we can also make the same puppet. I'll find a way. Exhaling heavily, a large amount of smoke filled the Hokage office. It's definitely not possible to go to Tsunade. Just ask Shizuchi to contribute the core secrets of the puppets, and they are rejected, so they can only take other paths. For example, the Hyuga clan. That night, the third Hokage once again came to the Hyuga tribe because of Jingyi. The last time I came here, it was a wake-up call for the Hyuga clan. But this time, I came here because I wanted to borrow the hands of the Hyuga clan to get the core secrets of the puppets. The third Hokage didn't dare to guarantee anything else, but he believed that if the Hyuga clan members took action, Jingyi would obediently hand over what he wanted even if he was unwilling. After all, the fate of the branch house is in the hands of the clan family. As for whether it will offend Tsunade and cause Tsunade to make a big fuss, third Hokage can no longer care. The value of the puppet is so great that it offends Tsunade, and the third Hokage wants to hold it in its hands. No one knows what the third Hokage and the Hyuga clan leader talked about, or what benefits they promised. The Hyuga clan sent a team the next day, following the reinforcements, and rushed to the frontline camp. And among the teams sent by the Hyuga clan, there was a member of the clan. The Zone family came forward to put pressure on Jingyi. If Jingyi was still stubborn, then they could only use the caged bird curse seal. As for the Hyuga clan, third Hokage promised them many benefits. Knowing that Jingyi controls a special kind of puppet, even the village's top officials are moved. It is false that the Hyuga clan is not moved, but they are not willing to offend the third Hokage and the entire F4 group for this. Once the F4 team joins forces to target them, the Hyuga family will have a very difficult time. Just look at Uchiha and you will know that the methods used on Uchiha can also be used on the Hyuga clan. So the Hyuga clan leader agreed to third Hokage's invitation to cooperate. Neither Tsunade nor Shizuchi knew about this. Although Tsunade became the Umbu minister, it was difficult for Umbu to master all of them before they were reorganized. Moreover, the third Hokage went to the Hyuga tribe alone without bringing anyone with him. It's Umbu's people. This also prevents Umbu's ninjas from reporting to Tsunade. The third Hokage has made all preparations. When the Hyuga clan succeeds, he is offering some benefits to appease Tsunade. He believed that no matter how angry Tsunade was, she would not cause too much trouble during the war. 2 days later, reinforcements arrived at the camp. After the reinforcements arrived at the camp, the Hyuga clan team quickly broke away from the team and headed towards the medical room. In the exclusive lounge of the medical room, Shizuchi was holding a book sent from Orochimaru and reading it with relish. Squeak. The door to the lounge was pushed open, and there were several figures standing at the door. After a while, he raised his head consciously. Good guy. This is probably for yourself. Just by looking at the other party, Jingyi knew that the other party was coming for him. A small team from the family was led by the Zone family. When people from the Zone family appear on the battlefield, they are definitely not here for the war. On the contrary, they have to hide. Since it is not for war, the result is already obvious. Hyuga Xingshi walked into the lounge expressionlessly, and the team members from the branch house also followed in and closed the door. It's easier to do things if the door is closed. Hyuga, why don't you stand up and salute? Hyuga Xingshi walked into the lounge arrogantly, but when he saw Jingyi motionless and didn't even mean to get up, anger suddenly emerged from the bottom of his heart. People in the branch house should take the initiative to salute and say hello when meeting someone from the clan. This is a clan rule. Are you a fool? Sorry, I don't have this habit. Jingyi looked at him jokingly, as if looking at a fool. You are a branch house person, how dare you look at me like this? Hyuga Xingshi was a little confused. When he came back to his senses, his pale face turned blue and purple in anger. This kid must be taught a lesson. Hyuga Xingshi, who is accustomed to being aloof, encountered such a rude and bold branch house person for the first time, which made him feel embarrassed. So he decided to give Jingyi a little pain first and wait for Jingyi to be honest before completing the task assigned by the clan leader. The clan used the caged bird curse seal to bind the branch house, and everyone in the clan knew how to use the caged bird curse seal to control the people in the branch house. Kneel down. When Hyuga Xingshi wanted to activate the caged bird curse seal and give Jingyi some pain, the word kneel down suddenly came to his ears. As soon as he raised his hand, he felt his body stiffen. The same goes for the people in the branch house team. Invisible pressure enveloped the entire lounge, as if a big hand was squeezing them tightly. Hyuga Xingshi and others felt that their bodies could not move, and their eyes were wide open, as if they had seen some terrible monster. Pop. As the pressure increased, Hyuga Xingshi and the guards of the team knelt on the ground. Slender fingers covered Hyuga Starstone's neck, and Hyuga Starstone was pinched by the neck and lifted up. Grabbing the opponent's neck and lifting the opponent high, Jingyi said with a half-smile. As expected, the people of the Zone family are used to being lazy, so a loser like you can only live a stable life wearing the skin of the Zone family. Episode 92. Nara Lushin, have you ever seen anyone from the Hyuga clan? Never. You, what do you want to do? It's best to let me go, otherwise, Hyuga Xingshi wanted to struggle, but unfortunately his body didn't obey his orders. Jingyi used a finger to forcefully interrupt the opponent's spellcasting with a physical attack. Waste. The word waste exploded in Hyuga Xingshi's mind like thunder. Hyuga Xingshi's white pupils shrank violently a few times, and his whole body hung like a puppet in Jingyi's hand. Jingyi, release the star stone, release him quickly. The few branch house people responsible for protecting the Hyuga Star Stone never imagined that things would turn out like this. They didn't know what Jingyi had done, which would make them feel like they were encountering a savage beast. They were so frightened that their bodies couldn't obey their orders. What was even worse was that Jingyi pinched Hyuga Xingshi's neck, as if he wanted to strangle him to death. People from the branch house want to strangle people from the clan to death? Is this possible? In the past, they would have definitely thought it was a joke, but now they can't laugh. Could it be that Hyuga Star Stone doesn't even know the spell of the caged bird? Ignoring the people in the branch house, Jingyi casually put down the Hyuga Star Stone, and the other person knelt on the ground again. When Hyuga Star Stone knelt down, Jingyi's hand directly pressed on his head, and a blue spirit ball sank into Hyuga Star Stone's body along the palm of his hand. Who asked you to come? It's the Patriarch. The Hyuga Star Stone was like a puppet on strings, answering Jingyi's question stupidly. The Patriarch. Hyuga Xingshi spoke very slowly, not only slowly, but also intermittently. Jingyi frowned when he heard it. That's all, I'll see for myself. It might hurt a little, so please bear with me. Blue light enveloped Hyuga Star Stone, and Hyuga Star Stone's whole body began to twitch. Jingyi closed his eyes, and scenes flashed quickly in his mind. The clan leader summoned and issued a special top-secret mission. The content of the mission was to force Hyuga Shizuchi to hand over the puppet, as well as the core secrets of making the puppet. After getting these things, he would give him a lesson and reproduce the core secrets of the puppet. One serving. The scene flashed quickly, and the other party entered the camp, and then quietly approached the medical room. In other words, these guys were sneaky and didn't attract anyone else's attention? Maybe I should charge a little interest first? Recalling the treatment he had received in the family in the past, Jingyi suddenly smiled. He slowly raised his right hand and placed it on Hyuga Xingshi's head again, pressing his head with his slender fingers. He bent down and said in Hyuga Xingshi's ear, remember to restrain yourself in the next life. Pfft. The blue chakra sank into Hyuga Star Stone's brain. Hyuga Star Stone, whose brain was violently impacted, groaned and fell softly to the ground. It's your turn. Jing turned around and looked at the branch house guard with cold eyes. Although he hates the Hyuga clan, at least he has no intention of actively seeking trouble. Who would have thought that the old Hyuga Tian Nin would start colluding with the third Hokage and actively seek trouble for him? Instead of just asking for trouble, you also want to teach yourself a little lesson and leave a deep memory? Well, I can only reluctantly take action and leave you with a deep memory. If a member of the clan dies, the old guy Hyuga Tennin will probably feel pain in his body. Hatue. He doesn't have the courage that a strong man should have, so he has the nerve to call himself a Hyuga Tennin? I don't even have the face to step on a horse. If all the Hyuga Tennins in the past knew that you were so cowardly, they would definitely not be able to hold down the coffin board. Kill people and collect corpses. Jingyi had no intention of destroying the corpse and eradicating traces. He just threw the corpse into the seal scroll, then cleaned up the traces of the arrival of these people, and then continued to sit on the chair and read a book leisurely with his legs crossed. It was as if the family members had never appeared. After arranging the reinforcements at the headquarters, Nara Lushin suddenly remembered that there seemed to be a small team of the Hyuga clan among the reinforcements. This team disappeared after entering the camp. He was busy at the time and didn't care about it. Now that the matter was settled, he didn't think about it. Nara Lushin was worried that something had happened and hurried to the medical room. However, Jingyi read a book with his legs crossed like a normal person. "Senior, are you looking for me?" Jingyi put down the book, stood up, and stretched. Didn't he come here for Jingyi? Nara Lushin was a little confused and asked tentatively, "Jingyi, did anyone come to see you just now?" Jingyi pretended to be confused. "Does the little nurse in the medical room count? The one who looks pretty. You are so beautiful, I am worried that you will get into trouble." Nara Lushin raised his right hand and scratched his thumb in front of his lips. "If you're fine, don't stare at the medical staff. Be careful of Tsunade causing trouble for you. Learn." Jingyi smiled and nodded. "Then you should have a good rest. There are still many things waiting for me to deal with at the headquarters." Returning to the headquarters, Nara Lushin patted his forehead. "What the hell is this? The third Hokage is just messing around, Jingyi is also messing around, Nara Lushin is caught in the middle and is not a human being. Forget it, I have never seen anyone from the Hyuga clan. Since you have never met, why should you care whether the other person is missing or gone? The headquarters has enough things to do, and I don't have the time to worry about such nonsense. Don't ask, you just don't know." So this matter was so boring. Jingyi and Nara Lushin were just like normal people, doing whatever they had to do. In this way, a few days flew by. There was no response from the people sent out. The third Hokage couldn't sit still and immediately asked people from the intelligence department to contact Nara Lushin. When the news was sent to the camp, everyone in Nara went numb. I knew this would happen. It's a pity that after setting foot on Tsunade's pirate ship, Nara thought that he wouldn't have a chance to get off the ship, so he had to bite the bullet and walk to the end. The third Hokage is still a thief, looking for Nara under the guise of caring about the Hyuga clan. Nara Luxian can only report truthfully. What Hyuga clan people? Never seen it. No matter who comes to ask me, I always say this, and I have never seen it before. So when the news was sent back to Konoha and handed into the hands of the third Hokage, everyone in the third Hokage was dumbfounded. Never seen it? He felt that things were a bit serious. If only a few people from the branch house were missing, the Hyuga family would not say anything, but the people from the Zone family were gone. Check. We must check thoroughly. Others can disappear or die, but not the members of the Hyuga clan, let alone the frontline camps where the other party has a shady mission. Now that there are no people left and no one knows whether they are alive or dead, the third Hokage must give an explanation to the Hyuga clan. You want to see people when you are alive, and you want to see corpses when you die. The third Hokage subconsciously sent Umbu's people to the camp to investigate the matter, but he forgot that the Umbu now is no longer the Umbu in the past. Episode 93. Third Hokage, I can't command Umbu now? Even though Tsunade didn't control Umbu for long. Even though it was not appropriate to rectify Umbu during the war, Tsunade came to power and became minister of Umbu, but some regulations were added. For example, when Umbu performs an important task, she needs to report to her, the minister, even if the task comes from the Hokage office. So Umbu's people came to Tsunade in a roundabout way. After understanding the cause of the mission, Tsunade said decisively, "Refuse to carry out this mission. During the war, every team in Umbu has an important mission. If the Hyuga clan members are missing, let them investigate on their own." This Hokage asked them to go out immediately and carry out the mission. The minister told them to refuse to carry out the mission and let the Hyuga clan investigate on their own. The Umbu team, which was already ready to go, became confused for a while. Don't know who to listen to. I am the minister of Umbu. If anyone dares to leave the village without obeying orders, I will kick him out of Umbu. Tsunade slapped the table hard, scaring Umbu and the others so much that their hearts jumped. The ninjas of Konoha are proud to work for Umbu. It would definitely be a shame if they were kicked out in a daze. As a result, the investigation task came to nothing. The third Hokage thought that Umbu's team was dispatched, but Umbu's team did not dare to move because of Tsunade's order, so they could only remain in a stalemate. By the time third Hokage reacted, 10 days and a half had passed. If the Hyuga clan leader hadn't come to the Hokage's office, the third Hokage would still be in the dark. Umbu's people didn't take action? When he heard the news, third Hokage almost couldn't breathe. In the Hokage office, the third Hokage's beard was trembling with anger. The Hyuga clan leader on the side looked very ugly. For the third Hokage, the family sent a member of the clan and a branch house guard to the border camp, but there was no news about the trip. The branch house's escort team is gone, and the key is that the Zone family members are gone too. The most annoying thing is that there is no movement at all in Hokage's office. Why, my Hyuga clan is working for your third Hokage, and even the members of the clan have been sent out. Now there is no news. I don't know whether they are missing or dead. As a result, your Hokage office has not expressed any response at all. Is this reasonable? You disobey me? The third Hokage's lungs were almost bursting with anger. He felt that his old face had been completely lost. If he knew the news in private, he would not be so angry. The key is that the Hyuga clan leader is also here. He also vowed to send Umbu's people to investigate. As a result, when Umbu's people were called over and asked, they found out that Umbu was not dispatched at all. His old face was swollen. The third Hokage's old face was burning, and Umbu's ninja felt aggrieved. He raised his head and glanced at the expressionless Hyuga chief, and said softly, Sir Hokage, Umbu naturally does not dare to disobey orders, but the minister said that the Hyuga clan members are missing, so let them investigate by themselves. He also said that anyone who dares to carry out this task will be kicked out of Umbu. It's not that we are disobedient, but that we dare not. With the Hokage on one side and the Bucho on the other, I was caught in a dilemma, not to mention how uncomfortable it was. Head of the Hyuga clan. Third Hokage. It turned out that Umbu was not disobedient, but that Tsunade did not allow Umbu to perform this task. Anyone who dared to disobey would get out of Umbu. Now that the words are here, who the hell dares to carry out the mission? Because Jingyi had been treated coldly by her family, Tsunade really didn't have a good impression of the Hyuga clan, and her original words were rather unpleasant. This is nonsense. The third Hokage slapped the table angrily. I am the Hokage. Of course you are Hokage, but we, Umbu, have a minister stuck here. What can we do? If you are unhappy, go find the minister, but don't get angry at us. It's uncomfortable enough to be caught in the middle, and you have to act as a doormat. No one is happy to leave it alone. Umbu's man lowered his head and stopped talking. He made up his mind to be a transparent person so as not to suffer for no reason. Besides, the minister was right. If the Hyuga clan is missing, let them investigate on their own. What should Umbu be mobilized for? During the war, Umbu's tasks were already busy. Seeing that the other party chose to remain silent, third Hokage was so angry that he couldn't speak. He finally understood. Umbu is no longer the Umbu it used to be. Tsunade, the minister, is stuck on it. All tasks need to go through Tsunade. Once Tsunade is stuck, Umbu's people cannot move out at will. This is so uncomfortable. The troops directly under the Hokage cannot be mobilized by the Hokage himself. However, all of this was caused by himself. The thought of changing his bed to Koharu in order to compensate and turning Umbu into what he is today makes third Hokage regretful. If he had been more ruthless and suppressed the noisy sleeping Koharu, he wouldn't have reached this stage today. At this time, third Hokage has been stuck, neither up nor down. Forget it, please leave first. The third Hokage waved his hand, and Umbu's ninjas quickly evacuated. He didn't want to stay here for one more second, it was too uncomfortable. After Umbu's people left, the leader of the Hyuga clan spoke, Master Hokage, you need to explain this matter to the family. Something happened to someone in the clan, and it has a great impact on the family. The leader of the Hyuga clan would not feel bad if a group of people from the branch house died, let alone a small team, but the clan was different. There are only so many people in the Zone family, and the death of any one of them would be painful. The most important thing is that I lost my eyes. Once the Byakugan escapes, the Hyuga clan leader becomes numb when he thinks of the consequences. So third Hokage must give him an explanation. After all, the Hyuga clan was doing things for him. I will give you an explanation. Please give me some time. At this time, we have to find a way to appease the Hyuga clan leader. Umbu is unreliable, so he can only mobilize other forces to investigate. In fact, the best way to do this is to directly order Nara Lushin to seal off the camp for investigation. But some things cannot be seen in the light and can only be investigated secretly. With Umbu unreliable, the third Hokage chose to use the power of the family. Mobilizing the family's ninjas to perform tasks requires taking certain risks and some troubles. Umbu's ninjas only care about whether they can complete the task and don't care about the rest. This is something that family ninjas cannot compare with. Secondly, when Umbu's people go out to perform tasks, everyone in the village needs the right to cooperate. Because this is Umbu's unique right. Umbu has such a right, but the ninjas of the Sarutobi clan do not, so they can only think of other ways. Thinking of the difference, third Hokage regretted it even more. Episode 94. It's okay to arrest others, but not Hyuga. It's so good, why did you hand Umbu over? Now that it's fine, it's impossible for him to take it back. The key is that even if he wanted to, Tsunade would not let go. In the end, with Umbu unable to dispatch, third Hokage could only mobilize several family ninja teams to perform this task. 2 days later, 3 teams composed entirely of ninjas from the Sarutobi clan came to the Rain Country camp and found the camp commander Nara Shikamaru. Master Lushin, Master Hokage, asked me to give this to you. As the team leader, Sarutobi handed the scroll he brought to Nara Shikoko. If they wanted to investigate and perform tasks in the camp, they needed Nara Shikoko's permission. Nara Lushin opened the scroll and took a look at it, and asked doubtfully, shouldn't Umbu perform such a task? Ever since the Hyuga clan disappeared, Nara Lushin had been prepared for Umbu to come to investigate. His idea was very simple, that is, he didn't know. No matter who asks me, I don't know. You can investigate as you like, just don't look for me. In addition, Tsunade has become Umbu's minister, and Umbu doesn't dare to embarrass Jingyi. As a result, after waiting for so long, Umbu's people didn't wait. Instead, it was people from the Sarutobi clan who came with orders from the third Hokage. We don't know much about this either. Sarutobi answered truthfully. As the Hokage of the village, he is unable to mobilize Umbu to perform tasks. The third Hokage will not tell anyone about this embarrassing thing, and neither will the Hyuga clan leader. Because spreading the word would be equivalent to offending the third Hokage to death, and the Hyuga clan would be waiting to be targeted. Could it be that Tsunade used her strength? Nara Lushin pondered for a moment and put the scroll away. Since you are here with Master Hokage's orders, I will cooperate with you as much as possible. Nara Shikakishin chose to cooperate, and Sarutobi breathed a sigh of relief. He was most afraid of Nara Shikakishin doing Tai Chi. If he didn't support or object to Nara Shikakishin, they wouldn't be able to let go at all in the camp. Thank you Lord Lushin for your support. It should. Nara Lushin smiled and nodded. I just said that I will cooperate with you. As for the extent of cooperation, it is not up to me. Sarutobi couldn't conduct an honest investigation because this was what Lord Hokage requested. Fortunately, with the cooperation of Nara Lushin, the investigation progressed quickly. Some ninjas who had impressions of the missing persons were secretly interrogated, and all signed confidentiality contracts after the interrogation. Soon, the information was sorted out, and all the information pointed to the direction of the medical room. Someone once saw that the Hyuga clan went directly to the medical room after arriving at the camp. As for whether they actually went to the medical room, the other party was not sure. Very good. All the intelligence points to the medical room, and the subsequent investigation will be much simpler. Just bring the suspects over for interrogation. Sarutobi is not Umbu's person and does not have Umbu's right to directly arrest people for interrogation. He can only ask Nara Lushin for help. After hearing the other party's request, Nara Lushin said in surprise. You mean that a member of the Hyuga clan has disappeared, and Hyuga Jingyi is the biggest suspect? Yes. Sarutobi nodded heavily. Lord Lushin, all intelligence clues point to him. It seems that the Hyuga clan is here for him, so I suspect that the missing person has a lot to do with him. Please also ask Mr. Liu Xian to capture him and cooperate with the investigation. What? Nara Lushin stood up in surprise. Sarutobi's face was filled with questions. No, why are you so surprised? If the suspect is identified, he must be arrested and interrogated. Whether it was Hyuga Shizuchi or not, we will know after interrogation. What did you just say? Nara Lushin asked. Sarutobi looked confused. I suspect that the missing person has a lot to do with Hyuga Shizuchi. Not this sentence, the next one. I would like to ask Mr. Liu Xian to arrest him for our investigation. Yes, that's it. Nara Lushin made a fist with his right hand and patted the palm of his left hand. Now I understand. Now that you understand it, it will be easy to handle. Sarutobi felt that this mission would be over soon. If he didn't have the right to arrest people directly, there would be no need for him to come to Nara Lushin. If this were Umbu, he would have arrested people immediately, no matter who you are. Sorry, I can't do it. Nara Lushin shook his head regretfully. Sarutobi? No, what does this mean? As the camp commander, you are the boss of the camp. I want to arrest people to cooperate with the investigation, but you tell me that you can't do it? It can be done by someone else, but not by Hyuga. Nara was very embarrassed. Why? Sarutobi didn't understand. Because the headquarters and the medical room are two systems. I am in charge of the operations, and everything in the medical room is under the control of Hyuga. Even if I have more power than him, I can't order him, let alone arrest him for investigation. The more Nara Lushin talked, the more uncomfortable she became. At that time, I advised Mr. Hokage not to arrange it like this, but Mr. Hokage didn't listen to me. Can you tell me, is this reasonable? Is it reasonable? That's so reasonable. Sarutobi was numb. He carried the third Hokage's order to carry out the task. Seeing that the task progress was almost full, he suddenly realized that he was being held back. The person holding him back was the same person who issued the mission. After being silent for a moment, he asked feebly. So, without Master Hokage's latest order, we can't arrest people? It's unlucky for you to be sent to perform this mission. Nara looked at him sympathetically and added. Not only that, but Tsunade Heim's order is needed, because the person was arranged by Tsunade Heim and represents the village's medical system. By the way, there is an extra Umbu now. Gone. Sarutobi directly put on the mask of pain. He finally understood why Umbu was not dispatched for this special mission. This was no investigation mission. It was clearly to support landmines. Senior, help me. Sarutobi was a little anxious. He didn't want to go back to the village and take the blame for not being able to complete the mission. I don't dare to help you, I'm afraid Tsunade Heim will hit me. Nara Lushin smiled coquettishly and did not answer. Anyway, I have said everything that needs to be said. As for what to do, that is your own business. Don't involve me. Sarutobi finally saw that Nara Shikamaru didn't want to get involved in this matter at all. At this moment, Sarutobi also felt what it was like to be caught in the middle, not being human inside or out. Then it's okay if I go directly to the other party to inquire and investigate, right? If you can't arrest someone, then take the polite approach and go directly to the other party, and everyone will sit down and chat politely. It should be, probably, okay? Nara Liu Xian was not very sure. After all, the medical room is not under my control. In addition, there are a large number of wounded in the medical room, and ordinary people are not allowed to approach it. I am also very embarrassed. Probably nothing. Sarutobi finally understood, Nara Shikashin was just trying to shirk it. Episode 95. It's up to you, the Hyuga clan, to deal with the Hyuga family. After walking out of the headquarters, Sarutobi was soaked in the heavy rain and rubbed his face hard, turning his dark face red. Why did he end up in such a failed case? I thought it was a good job, but it turned out to be a sinkhole, sandwiched in the middle of a group of big guys, no one inside or outside. Phew. Standing in the heavy rain and breathing heavily, Sarutobi tried hard to calm down and keep his brain awake. After standing in the rain for a long time, Sarutobi went to the medical room alone. He planned to meet Jing in private and have a good talk. We have guests. Orochimaru had a faint smile on his lips, glanced at Sarutobi who was all wet, and recalled carefully. I remember that you were the person in charge of guarding the old man's house. I didn't expect that the old man would throw you to the front line. Sarutobi was very embarrassed. He didn't expect that Shizuchi would see him directly after being notified. The most uncomfortable thing was that Orochimaru was also there. Although the cooperation has been terminated, Orochimaru still likes to run towards Shizuchi when there is no mission. Senior, what do you want from me? Jingyi looked at the list in his hand and had no intention of inviting the other party to sit down. Why did Sarutobi come? The answer is obvious. It's not the right way, so why are you so polite? Not to mention Orochimaru also revealed the other party's identity. The people in the Sarutobi clan who are responsible for the security of the clan are not the family's personal power. The third Hokage is really interesting. Umbu sent people from his family over without taking action, but the people from his family came to find him privately. It seems that the other party has experienced what it feels like to be caught in the middle and not be human. Sarutobi sighed inwardly and vowed never to take on such a bad mission again. A team from the Hyuga clan disappeared in the camp, and there was also a member of the Hyuga clan among them. Lord Hokage needs to give an explanation to the Hyuga clan, so he ordered me to investigate this matter. Not bad. Jingyi raised his eyebrows. Sarutobi directly confessed his purpose of coming. It seemed that he hoped that he would not embarrass him too much. People from the Hyuga clan are missing, including members of the clan? Orochimaru felt that he had discovered something interesting. If the old man can send someone to find the camp, it means that this matter has something to do with Jingyi. Is there such a thing? Jingyi said in surprise, there are many people from the branch house in the camp. I think seniors can ask these people to see if they can get some valuable information from them. After giving Shizuchi a deep look, Sarutobi said, "Excuse me for disturbing you." Sarutobi retreated decisively, Orochimaru said with a smile. He is a smart man. I think he will leave the camp soon and return to the village to kill himself. He is indeed a smart man. Jingyi nodded, admitting that Orochimaru's words made sense. Since we are in a dilemma and there are checks and balances everywhere, why should I investigate? Isn't Nara Lushin pretending to be stupid? I will too. Shizuchi-kun, it seems that the Byakugan has very good research value. Orochimaru asked tentatively. If the person is missing, or is missing in the camp, then there is no doubt that if Jingyi moves his hand, he must have a pair of white eyes in his hand, or a pair of very pure white eyes. The research value of this thing is great. In the past Orochimaru wanted to study Sharingan, but at this moment he was not interested in Sharingan at all. What he was interested in was Byakugan. Because of the various secrets in Jingyi's body, he became obsessed with Baiyen. Unfortunately, it is much more difficult to obtain a pair of Byakugan for research than to research Sharingan. Leaving aside the Zone family, if you want to get the Byakugan from the people in the branch house, you can't get around the caged bird curse seal. Unless you attack a child of 2 or 3 years old, you won't get a look at him even if you kill him. Maybe. Jing replied without raising her head and continued to look at the drug consumption list. If there was a vacancy, she would need to contact the village as soon as possible and ask the village to send a batch. Nara Lushin is very busy, and so is Jingyi. As for Orochimaru's temptation, I won't admit it or deny it. If you want to study Byakugan, then go elsewhere and find a way. Don't come to me. It's useless to come to me. Returning to the wooden house where he was resting, Sarutobi said to the tribesmen, have a rest and continue the investigation tomorrow. At this time, he no longer wanted to solve the case. He just wanted to continue investigating for a few days, then return to the village to kill him and deal with it directly as an unsolved case. Without anyone's cooperation, without the right to arrest people directly, and being trapped in a dilemma, it would be impossible to find out this kind of case. Even if you know it was Jingyi who did it, without absolute evidence, everything is in vain. Suspect? There is a bird for it. Sarutobi had already laid down on his back, and began to think of just returning to the village after casually investigating for a few days. At worst, he would be punished, but it was better than wasting time in the camp. In the next few days, Sarutobi and his clan members pretended to investigate for a few days, before returning directly to the village. When he came to the Hokage office, he asked the third Hokage to report. All intelligence clues point to the camp medical room, but we have not found any evidence, and we do not have the right to arrest people for interrogation. One thing is said, no need to add anything, just add one sentence at the end. It's not that I don't have the ability to investigate, it's that I don't have the power. I know, thank you for the hard work, go back and rest first. The third Hokage did not embarrass Sarutobi. Because what the other party said is true, no one can investigate this kind of case without special privileges. Yes, Lord Hokage. Without being blamed or punished, Sarutobi breathed a sigh of relief. The case was finally solved. I will never do this kind of mission again. By the way, send someone to the Hyuga clan, inform the Hyuga clan leader and ask him to come to the Hokage office. Yes, Lord Hokage. After leaving the Hokage office building, Sarutobi sent someone to inform the Hyuga clan leader. Soon, the Hyuga clan leader came to the Hokage office. The third Hokage sighed and said to the Hyuga clan leader, "Nin, my condolences." The face of the Hyuga clan leader changed, and the muscles in his cheeks twitched a few times. Is he already dead? Almost. Third Hokage is very confused. Tsunade didn't let Umbu's people go out. The people I sent could only investigate secretly. All the intelligence and clues pointed to Hyuga Shizuchi, but my people didn't have the privilege of directly arresting people for interrogation. Don't you want an explanation? I'll give you. All the clues point to Hyuga Jingyi. You go find him. It just so happens that he is a member of your family, so you Hyuga Tennin will deal with it slowly. As long as you can bypass Tsunade and give Hyuga a break, I have no problem with it, but don't come to me if something goes wrong. Episode 96. Tsunade, do you really think I have no temper? Shit, you have no privileges. You, Hiruzen Sarutobi, are the biggest privilege in the village. The Hyuga clan leader knew very well that the third Hokage's explanation was actually perfunctory, so he gave him some eye drops and asked him to put the pressure on Tsunade. When employing people, you promise all kinds of benefits, but when something goes wrong, you start to deal with it perfunctorily. When third Hokage started, I really didn't want to do it perfunctorily, but the Hyuga clan leader would not think so. He would think that third Hokage was intentional. Because the Hyuga clan messed up things. Full of anger, the Hyuga clan leader left Hokage's office expressionlessly. Alas. The third Hokage sighed. He couldn't understand why things were getting more and more complicated. The village just wants some puppets, and by the way, they can master the core secrets of the puppets. The result was unsatisfactory, and the situation became more and more tense. Looking up and looking out the window, third Hokage asked himself in his heart, was I wrong? No. I'm right, everything I do is for the village. Come here, please invite the two representatives of the elders to come over. Since you can't get what you want by following the path of the Hyuga clan, you can only think of other ways. In the Hyuga tribe, there was already a huge quarrel in the Zong family compound. How could Lord Hokage do this? This is clearly betrayal. Since Hyuga is the most suspected person, he should be arrested and interrogated. This piece of trash, Hyuga Star Stone, can't even control a branch house person. Several elders of the Zong family yelled angrily. They felt that Hyuga Xingshi had brought shame on the Zong family. As a member of the clan, he mastered the caged bird curse seal, but he couldn't control it even for someone from the branch house, and in the end he killed himself. This was simply a shame. What made them even more angry was that Jingyi, a member of the branch house, dared to resist and even killed members of the clan. This did not take them or the Hyuga clan rules into consideration at all. Of course, these clan elders cannot accept the third Hokage's explanation and attitude, because they think it is a betrayal. Clan leader, I suggest that Hyuga Jingyi be arrested and interrogated. The honor and dignity of the clan must not be trampled on. Yes, we have to get the Byakugan back. We must not let the Byakugan wander out. Several clan elders talked to each other and were particularly excited, especially Hyuga Xingshi's father. If a member of the clan died and the village could provide adequate compensation, they wouldn't be so angry. However, the compensation third Hokage gave to the Hyuga clan was almost the same as sending a beggar away. This directly caused the Hyuga clan to explode. Okay, let's play like this, right? Do you really think that my Hyuga clan is made of mud? Okay, I will personally handle this matter. Although the family has suffered a heavy loss, it has also allowed us to see some people and things clearly. The eyes of the Hyuga clan leader slowly scanned the faces of each clan elder. Clan leader, is this the end of it? What if? The Hyuga clan leader asked expressionlessly, can you ask Master Hokage for an explanation? Or do you want this disgraceful matter to be spread and bring shame to the family? Can it? Forehead. Facing the questions from the Hyuga clan leader, the elders of the clan shut up one after another. Even Xingshi's father was no exception. Although he was sad to lose his son, this matter must not be spread, otherwise the Zong family would be disgraced, and it might even cause a backlash from the branch house. It's just embarrassing to the outside world. The elders of these clans are most afraid that this incident will cause agitation among some people in the branch house. They are from the branch house, and so is Jingyi. Since Jingyi can kill people from the Zong family, there is no reason why they can't. There are too many people who have resentment towards the Zone family. Seeing that the elders were quiet, Chief Hyuga continued. Don't forget how deep the grievances and conflicts between the Zone family and the branch house are. Once someone starts to follow suit, it will bring us endless trouble. So how should this matter be handled? This won't work, and that won't work either. It's simply frustrating to death. Tomorrow. The Hyuga clan leader paused for a moment. I will go to the frontline camp in person and have a quiet chat. I hope Byakugan will not be left outside. No matter what, it is the family's thing and this hole cannot be opened. Listening to the clan leader's words, the elders of the clan felt panicked. Because the clan leader went to Jingyi not to cause trouble, but to resolve the matter peacefully and get the Byakugan back at the same time. It's unforgivable for someone from the branch house to kill someone from the clan, but they don't dare to attack or retaliate in a big way. This is so uncomfortable. Once something happens to Shizuchi, Tsunade will be the first to cause trouble for them, and even the third Hokage group will get involved. There are many people who want to step on the Hyuga clan, but they just haven't found the opportunity. The leader of the Hyuga clan personally went to the frontline camp, which was no small matter. Umbu's people immediately reported the news to Tsunade and the third Hokage. Third Hokage has no comment on this. One after another endlessly? Or do you really think that I have lost my temper? If this were changed before, Tsunade would definitely kill the Hyuga tribe as soon as possible, but at this time, there is no need to go to such trouble. Go and invite the elders of the Hyuga clan over and tell them that there is a case that requires their cooperation in the investigation. The Hyuga clan has always been very well behaved and will not cause trouble like Uchiha, but rules are relative. Umbu has sealed several unsolved cases about the Hyuga clan. The origin of the case is related to the conflicts and grievances between the Zone family and the branch house. Yes, Minister. After the order was issued, Umbu's ninjas immediately took action. Tsunade rummaged through the archives and found the sealed files. Since you Hyuga clan can't stand it any longer, I'll cool it down for you. Soon, Umbu's people sent the news to the Hyuga clan and informed them that the family elders would immediately go to Umbu to cooperate with the investigation. After saying that, Umbu's people left, but the Hyuga clan exploded. Send someone quickly to inform the clan leader and ask him to return to the village immediately. As soon as the patriarch left, Umbu came to them and asked them to cooperate with the investigation. This was definitely not an accident. It's about targeting. Then, less than 2 hours after leaving the village, the Hyuga clan leader was brought back by a series of life-threatening calls from his family. You can't do it without coming back. The elders of the Hyuga clan, regardless of whether you are a branch house or a clan, have all been taken to Umbu. The whole family has become a mess. As the leader of the clan, he still dares to go to the frontline camp? Minister, we have all been brought back. Oh, just send him to the interrogation room. There is no need to interrogate him. Just keep him locked up. Suna, who was reading the document, said without raising his head. Episode 97. Please stay away from Hyuga. Yes. Umbu's ninjas didn't know what their minister wanted to do, but when the minister spoke, they little shrimps just obeyed and couldn't ask questions. So amidst various voices of protest and dissatisfaction, the elders of the Hyuga clan were locked in the interrogation room. After quickly returning to the village and his family, and understanding the cause and course of the incident, the Hyuga clan leader began to appease the clan members and asked them to be obedient and not to cause trouble or talk nonsense. As soon as he left, Tsunade took all the family elders to Umbu. This is clearly targeting them. Not to mention that the Hyuga clan has several unsolved cases in Umbu. Even if there are no such cases, Umbu says that they want to investigate, and the Hyuga clan has to accept the investigation obediently. This is Umbu's privilege. Not to mention the Hyuga clan, even if Tsunade found out about the Sarutobi clan would still hold their noses and cooperate. When it was time to get off work, Tsunade did not go home directly. Instead, she came to the tavern where she had dinner with Orochimaru and others, and asked someone to notify the Hyuga clan leader and ask him to come over. After receiving the notice, the somewhat anxious Hyuga clan leader calmed down. Catching someone on the front foot and inviting him to a dinner party on the other hand shows that Umbu is not going to attack the Hyuga clan. The reason why Tsunade did this is to warn them. Please take a seat. In the tavern, Tsunade sat gracefully on a chair, holding a wine bottle in her hand and casually inviting the Hyuga clan leader to sit down. The Hyuga clan leader calmly adjusted his clothes and sat across from Tsunade. Bump. After the other party sat down, Tsunade placed the wine bottle heavily on the table. Logically speaking, I should call you senpai, but judging from the cold treatment of Jingyi by the Hyuga clan, I don't want to call you senpai. Tsunadeheim, family inheritance is above all else. Fart. Tsunade didn't listen to this nonsense. Family legacy above all else? Only people from your Hyuga clan can say this. Although other ninja families value inheritance, they are not nearly as sick as the Hyuga family. Arrogantly interrupting the Hyuga clan leader, Tsunade said angrily. I don't care whether your family heritage is high or not. In the past, the Senju clan was higher than anyone else, but what about the Senju clan? This is the first time I'm looking for you, and I hope it's the last time. Stay away from Jingyi, otherwise I will take turns letting people from your family settle in Umbu. There are some cases that the second grandfather and the old man may choose to ignore for the sake of the overall situation, but I'm not sure what I think. If you are not convinced, you can go to the old man and complain. Tsunade didn't want the Hyuga clan to continue to show off their presence in front of Shizuchi, because she wasn't sure whether Shizuchi would tear off the forehead protector on his head. Killing several members of the Hyuga clan is nothing, even if there is one clan member among them. But if Jingyi pulls off the forehead protector from his forehead, I'm afraid the entire Hyuga clan will be in turmoil, and a big earthquake will break out. It's not the time for a showdown yet, so Tsunade chooses to strike first. It just so happened that she became Umbu's minister, which provided her with convenience. Umbu's department has a low sense of presence, but as long as it is used properly, it can be a greater deterrent than any other department. As long as Umbu's sealed files exist for a day, Umbu can control the Hyuga clan for a day. The third Hokage doesn't want to break up with the Hyuga clan, but Tsunade doesn't care about this. You're so pissed off, you still want me to be polite to you? His front teeth were all knocked out. Grabbing the wine bottle on the table and taking a few sips of wine, Tsunade took the bottle and left. She had to go back to make up lessons for Kushina. The Hyuga clan has been mixed into a pot of porridge. If it weren't for the Hyuga clan leader who was in charge of stabilizing the family, chaos would have broken out. The Hokage office is not peaceful either. After going to bed, Koharu kept complaining, Hiruzen, you just watch Tsunade do what she wants. What is she trying to do? All the elders of the Hyuga clan were invited to Umbu and locked in the interrogation room. Are you still embarrassed to ask me? If it weren't for your troubles, to compensate you, Tsunade would become Minister Umbu? Now that Umbu is in Tsunade's hands, let alone you, even I am afraid to do something by myself. The third Hokage never felt like this when Umbu was in his hand. When Umbu was taken out and handed over to Tsunade, the third Hokage realized what a big loss this was. Don't tell me. Isn't it just to compensate you that I would have reached this point? Mito Manabu quietly pulled Koharu's clothes before she went to bed, signaling her to shut up and stop complaining endlessly. In order to prevent Koharu from sleeping with him, Mito Manamanji took over the conversation. Hiruzen, what Koharu said makes some sense. It's not good for Tsunade to bring everyone to Umbu like this. After all, the Hyuga clan is not a small family. Once it gets serious, I'm afraid it will cause some trouble. Third Hokage lit the cigarette impatiently and took 2 strong puffs. The Hyuga clan is a little greedy. It's appropriate to give it a beating. I believe Tsunade won't mess around. Anyway, the Hyuga clan has been offended so hard that it would be good for Tsunade to give them a beating. The third Hokage doesn't mind if the Hyuga clan falls into trouble. As for those cowards in the Hyuga clan, they will only become honest if they fail. You, just figure it out for yourself. After saying this, third Hokage waved to the 2 of them, indicating that they could leave. Stop bothering yourself about this. Moving to bed, Koharu and Mito Katabu came to the Hokage office, not to help the Hyuga clan. They were worried that they and the family behind them would become the second Hyuga clan. Both hope that third Hokage can impose some restrictions on Umbu. The privilege of arresting people directly without approval is simply nerve-wracking. I didn't realize it before, but now that I think about it, I feel like it's life-threatening. No one wants to be approached by Umbu in a daze. Even if they themselves are not afraid, what about the family behind them? Umbu asks you to go for investigation. Do you dare not to go? Walking out of the Hokage office building, Mito Kodoin sighed helplessly. Koharu, the previous compensation was too much. I didn't expect it to be like this. Go to bed. Koharu is a little unconvinced. Co-authoring doesn't give you the right to do anything, so you shouldn't be in a hurry, right? Forget it, let's leave this matter as it is. Hiruzen will not place restrictions on Umbu until the war is over. The village needs stability. Mito Menyen shook his head and said. Although Tsunade is domineering, she is also a reasonable person. If we don't take the initiative to provoke her, she will not take the initiative to trouble us, Koharu. Episode 98. Mito Menyen, it's none of your business, step aside and stand up. Stopping, Mito Menyen turned around and stared at her. I hope you can calm down your violent temper before the war ends. Tsunade is not our enemy. What about Hyuga? After being told in a roundabout way that he had a bad temper, Koharu's face gradually turned ugly when he went to bed. You also voted in favor of the core secrets regarding puppets and puppet making. So what? Mito Menyen said nonchalantly. Hiruzen is more anxious than us. If Hyuga Shizuchi is really unwilling to hand over the puppet and the core secrets of the puppet, I think Hiruzen will take the initiative to persuade Tsunade and let the cooperation continue. The core secret of the puppet cannot be controlled, so it's okay for both of us to cooperate in making the puppet, right? Again, everything is for the village. Why not take a step back? Mito Menyen, you usually seem to be the most upright, but I didn't expect that the person with the most evil intentions is you. But are you willing? So what if you don't give in? Mito Kadoyan shook his head slightly. Hyuga Shizuchi is unwilling to hand over the things, and Tsunade is unwilling to cooperate. Can we still kill people and take the things back? Don't be stupid. Hyuga Jingyi. You can worry about his things, and even dig holes to grab them, but you can't touch him, otherwise no one will be able to bear the consequences. We have been keeping a low profile recently. Tsunade from the province is eyeing us. As for the puppet thing, let Hiruzen figure it out. After all, he is the Hokage, isn't he? Looking at Mito Manabu's retreating back, Koharu wanted to smack him before going to bed, but after thinking about it carefully, it seemed that there was nothing wrong with his words. Sarutobi Hiruzen is the Hokage. Even if they get what they want, the two of them can only drink some soup. The one who dominates everything is the third Hokage. In this case, why bother to stand in front and attract firepower? Tsunade has already taken action against the Hyuga clan. If she continues to push, the target of the attack may be directed at them. So there's nothing wrong with leaving the mess to the third Hokage. That night, several elders of the Hyuga clan were released, but those released were all elders from the branch house. As for the elders of the clan, Tsunade stayed in Umbu as guests. Ha ha ha. Holding the scroll sent by Tsunade in her hand, Jingyi couldn't help but smile. This is too funny. While the clan leader was leaving, he took the elders directly to Umbu and locked them in the interrogation room, forcing the clan leader back to the village. I have to say that Tsunade did a great job with this move. Show me quickly. Jiraiya, who was lying aside, felt itchy in his heart. He eagerly wanted to know what was written in the scroll that could make Jingyi smile like this. Look at it. Jingyi slapped his hand away angrily. Why don't you lie down in so many hospital beds and insist on squeezing into my place? It's more comfortable for me, Hyuga, to lie down in the lounge? Hey. Facing Jingyi's question, Jiraiya scratched his head and giggled. Hatake Tsukumo, who was sitting aside, coughed and turned around quickly. After lying on the bed in the medical room for a while, the two hit it off and took advantage of Jingyi entering the operating room to move the bed and stay in Jingyi's lounge. Senior and I are here to relieve the pressure on the beds in the medical room. Hatake Tsukumo was thin-skinned, but Jiraiya didn't care about that, and he still smiled playfully even when he was scolded. Come less. Jingyi doesn't believe his nonsense. If you came over directly, I would believe it, but you moved all the hospital beds away together. How convincing is this? When Jingyi came out of the operating room and came back to rest, everyone was shocked. The rest room, which was not too big, actually had 2 extra beds. Jiraiya and Hatake Tsukumo were lying on one side, and they thoughtfully left a path for them. Tell me why you came to me. If you don't tell the truth, I will have you moved back. Jingyi has no interest in living with 2 grown men, especially Jiraiya, a bastard. Living with him is simply a crime. Okay. Jiraiya said helplessly, those medical ladies and sisters are so enthusiastic, seniors and I are a little overwhelmed. Hatake Tsukumo covered his face in pain. Why did he believe Jiraiya's lies? Haha. You see, if I believe it or not, it's over. Hatake Tsukumo is popular and makes the ladies very enthusiastic. I also believe that as for you, Jiraiya, not being treated as a pervert is already giving you face. Still popular. I have no idea at all. Kicking the hospital bed with her foot, Jingyi said angrily, "Okay, stop talking about this, Sakumo-senpai can't resist it." "I believe you, Jiraiya. I think you are jealous, so you dragged your senior to run away with you, come out. Don't say that I don't give you face. I don't like to be crowded together with the big men. You two move the hospital bed outside. While you are recovering from your injuries, you are allowed to follow me and make a living. This is the bottom line, don't bargain." Interrupting Jiraiya, who raised his hand to defend himself, Jingyi motioned for him to get up and move the hospital bed out. The rest room was originally not big, with wooden beds, tables, and chairs, but now that there are 2 more hospital beds, it has quickly turned into a large berth. "No problem." Jiraiya jumped up from the hospital bed and happily moved the hospital bed outside. While moving it back, he said to Hatake Tsukumo, "Senior, what I said is right. Jingyi will definitely not drive us back. At most, he will drive us out of the rest room. Don't talk to me, I don't know anything." Hatake Tsukumo moved things silently. Moving the hospital bed outside, the two ran back to the restroom. Hatake Tsukumo sat on a chair and drank tea. Jiraiya took out a paper and pen and began to study his book again. Shizuchi sat on the bed and looked at the worried Hatake Tsukumo for a few times. Since returning to the camp for treatment, Hatake Tsukumo has been in this state, and he seems to have taken the responsibility for the destruction of the elite troops. He believed that it was his own command errors that led to the death of this elite unit on the battlefield. Jiraiya just saw that he was unhappy, so he shamelessly dragged him to Jingyi's place. Not to mention, he even moved the hospital bed over. What the hell kind of operation is this? Senior. Hatake Tsukumo raised his head and showed an unnatural smile. Jiraiya put down the pen in his hand and scratched his head vigorously. He didn't know how to enlighten Hatake Tsukumo. While in the ward, he had tried many times, but the results were not good. Jingyi organized his words and said, "Responsibility is something that cannot be escaped, but those companions who sacrificed may not want to see the seniors go to great lengths for this matter. I'm not running away from my responsibilities." Hatake Tsukumo sighed. It was precisely because he did not choose to evade responsibility that he blamed himself so much. "No, you do." Episode 99. "Do you want to try Sage Jutsu and Shigulin?" "No, you do." Jingyi stared into his eyes. "Am I avoiding responsibility? Is there any?" Hatake Tsukumo was stunned, and Jiraiya was a little confused. "Senior, there is no war without death. From the day we become ninjas, we need to accept this reality." Jingyi raised his hand and patted Hatake Tsukumo on the shoulder. "It's useless to try to get into trouble. Senior, if you feel that you are wrong and you are responsible for the death of the elite troops, then you should cheer up, rest and recuperate, and wait. After the injury is healed, kill all the people in IWA Ninja Village. After our companions died, we can't let the culprit live in peace, right?" "Yes." Jingyi said it well. Jiraiya clapped his hands hard and began to joke. "Senior, you have to think about it. If we accidentally die, how will we face those dead companions and teammates after we get to the Pure Land? We didn't even help them avenge themselves." "That's right." Jingyi couldn't hold it back and slapped Jiraiya directly. "If you can't speak, just shut up. I'll try to cheer myself up." Hatake Tsukumo smiled, with a bit of confusion in his eyes. "I've tried my best. From now on, you can handle this kind of thing by yourself and don't involve me." Jingyi gave Jiraiya a look that said, "I've tried my best." Hatake Tsukumo is a person who likes to get into trouble. For this kind of person, persuasion has little effect. Whether he can get out of the situation depends on him. Jingyi had no choice, and Jiraiya was even more helpless. Lying together in the medical room for so long, his relationship with Hatake Tsukumo quickly grew closer. It was out of his friend's concern that he hoped Hatake Tsukumo could come out. Unfortunately, some things cannot be affected by external forces. Once some people get into the horns of a bull's nest, let alone persuading them, they may not be able to come out even if they break the horns of the bull's horns themselves. Hatake Tsukumo is this kind of person, and so is his son, Hatake Kakashi. Fortunately, Hatake Kakashi is luckier than lousy. He is surrounded by his teammates and the care of his teachers. What's funny is that despite all the efforts of Xiao Huangmao, Kakashi couldn't get out of the horns, but Naruto and Sasuke did it. "Shizuchi, have you signed a psychic contract with Katsuyu Sennin?" Jiraiya came closer to Jingyi and kept asking about this matter. Jingyi replied, "With my relationship as Tsunade and my status as a medical ninja, It is normal to sign a contract with Katsuyu Sage. Are you planning to abandon the toads of Mount Myaboku and switch to Shigu Forest? How is that possible? Jiraiya's voice suddenly became louder. There were slight footsteps at the door, and Orochimaru's figure appeared at the door of the restroom. Entering the restroom, Orochimaru nodded to Hatake Sakuma with a smile, said hello and sat down next to Shizuchi. Jiraiya didn't seem to see Orochimaru, and said to himself, Toad Sage of Mount Myaboku is very good to me, and he also asked me to learn Sage Jutsu. Jiraiya's biggest turning point was that he was recognized by the Mount Myaboku Toad. He, who was originally the last among the Sannin, gradually surpassed Tsunade and Orochimaru in strength, and became stronger and stronger as he grew older. Sage Jutsu? Orochimaru asked curiously, have you learned it? Jiraiya said in frustration, this is a bit difficult, but I've been working hard. I just heard that the Sage Jutsu training method in Shigulin is quite special, so I wanted to ask Shizuchi. Sage Jutsu can be learned in the 3 holy places of Shigulin, Mount Myaboku, and Ryuchi Cave. Tsunade tried it in the Shimagun Forest, but she didn't have the talent. Jiraiya did have the talent, but it was just average. As for Orochimaru, he never encountered Sage Jutsu in Ryuchi Cave. Because he knew very well that the Sage Jutsu practice in Ryujidong was very dangerous. Well enough. Jingyi thought about the process of learning Sage Jutsu and couldn't help but complain. Katsuyu Sage said that I have a good talent, but I personally don't like the sticky and wet feeling all over my body. Fortunately, Katsuyu are very powerful and can help me absorb unstable natural energy. Is there such a good thing? Jiraiya's eyes widened. Orochimaru was also surprised. Hatake Sakuma was confused, what are you 3 talking about? Sage Jutsu? What is natural energy? When practicing Mount Myaboku Sage Jutsu, you need to smear a lot of disgusting toad oil on your body. Ryuchi Cave is even more unique. It directly injects snake venom into you. If you can practice successfully, it means you are talented. If you fail, you will die. Is this a good thing? Jingyi thought of some not-so-splendid processes, and her body shuddered subconsciously. He didn't want to experience that terrible feeling again in his life. Doesn't it count? Jiraiya almost bit his cheek. Rather than smearing toad oil on his body, he was more willing to accept Katsuyu lying on him, even though Katsuyu was a mollusk and was covered in mucus. Jiraiya's reaction made Jingyi laugh, since you are envious, you might as well come to Shigu Forest. I can introduce you to Katsuyu Sage. By the way, Katsuyu Sage can detect whether a person has studied Sage Jutsu's talent. Really? Jiraiya was inexplicably moved. Even Orochimaru doesn't want to try it. He is really greedy for Sage Jutsu, but he doesn't dare to try the Sage Jutsu from Ryakudo. The Katsuyu Sage in the Shijibone Forest and the Toad in Mount Myaboku seriously taught you to learn Sage Jutsu and protected you all the way, while the snake in Ryuchi Cave, let alone taking care of you, just swallowed it if you didn't like it. Sage Jutsu? You're just learning Sage Jutsu, it's just enough for me as a snack. Of course, please wait a moment. By the way, senior, you can come too. There was a smirk hidden in Jing's eyes. How can I let myself taste the terrible taste? It would be more interesting to get a few more people into the water. Jingyi bit his finger, quickly formed a seal, and pressed his palm to the ground. Pfft. As a line of white smoke came out, a small Katsuyu appeared on the ground. Lord Jingyi, are you looking for me? Little Katsuyu is split from Katsuyu Sage, so the voice is as good as Katsuyu Sage. I want to take some friends to see Katsuyu Sage. Please take us there. Okay, Sir Jingyi. Little Katsuyu disappeared into the restroom. Shizuchi motioned for Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Hatake Sakuma to come closer. After the 3 of them approached, Shizuchi put his hands on them. With a terrifying pull, the 4 people disappeared into the restroom. Arrive at Shigu Forest. Ouch. After a while, the world was spinning, and they entered the Wetbone Forest. Before Jiraiya had time to observe his surroundings, he fell down. Episode 100. The truth sometimes hurts more than lies. Because the ground was covered with wet mucus, Jiraiya fell down, but Orochimaru and Hatake Sakuma stood firm. Seeing the huge Katsuyu Sage, Orochimaru was mentally prepared, while Hatake Sakuma's eyes were a little dazed. He had seen many psychic beasts, but this was the first time he had seen such a big one. Hello, Katsuyu-senin. Shizuchi raised his hand to greet Katsuyu-senin. Hello, Xiao Jingyi. Katsuyu Sage's huge head lowered slightly, and the surrounding light dimmed, as if something was blocking the sky. It's so big, bigger than the toad on Mount Myaboku. Jiraiya subconsciously gestured. There were many huge toads on Mount Myaboku, but those toads were nothing compared to Katsuyu Sage. Orochimaru feels this way too. The snake in Ruji Cave is a slightly larger snake in front of Katsuyu Sanin. After saying hello, Jingyi explained his purpose. Katsuyu Sage, I would like to ask you to test them to see if they have the talent to learn Sage Jutsu. The testing process can be a little longer. Is there such a strange request? The upright Katsuyu Sage thought this was a request made by Orochimaru and others. Does the testing process take a little longer? Jiraiya and Hatake Sakumo didn't react. Orochimaru's expression changed, and he felt that something bad would happen. The next second, the huge Katsuyu Sage lowered his head and swallowed the three of them in one gulp. Jingyi had enjoyed the treatment before, and the three of them followed suit, and the time was extended a lot. After all, this was specifically requested by the guest. As Katsuyu Sage, it doesn't know how to refuse others, so it can only satisfy the guest's requests. A little longer. Ha ha ha. Seeing the three people being swallowed by Katsuyu Sage, Jingyi couldn't help laughing, holding her belly and laughing out of breath. After a while, Katsuyu Sage opened his mouth and spit out the three people. The three people, covered in mucus, slid along the ground like yo-yos, and did not stop until they hit a big tree. Ahem. The three people who stopped quickly got up, bent over and coughed, and a lot of mucus was sucked into their mouths. This can make people feel suffocated, and the mucus also has a special smell that makes people retching and making them want to vomit. Ahem. Jingyi, you are so bad, ahem. It makes me so uncomfortable that I will never try again. Jiraiya almost vomited out the jaundice water. Hatake Sakumo didn't go anywhere, but Orochimaru was more tolerant and recovered after coughing for a while. Ha ha ha, isn't it interesting? Go away, I don't believe you anymore. Jiraiya coughed so much that tears flowed down his face. God, what the hell kind of detection method is this? Even the toads on Mount Myaboku are not that extreme. Katsuyu Sage looked at Hatake Sakumo and said regretfully, I'm sorry, you don't have the talent to learn Sage Jutsu. As for you, your talent is very average. I'm afraid the speed of learning Sage Jutsu will be very slow. Hatake Sakumo has no talent. Jiraiya's talent is average, and the process of learning Sage Jutsu is destined to be long, arduous, and dangerous. As for you. Katsuyu Sage looked down at Orochimaru and recalled, I once smelled your breath on little Tsunade, and you still have the smell of Ruji Cave. Orochimaru told the truth. I signed a psychic contract with Wanshi in Longi Cave. I see. Katsuyu Sanin continued, you have a good talent. I think the Sage Jutsu of Ryakudo should be a good fit for you. My talent is good? Orochimaru was stunned for a moment, then asked, then can I learn the Sage Jutsu of Shiggulin? Terribly sorry. Katsuyu Sage shook his head and refused Orochimaru. The three holy places have an agreement. Those who sign the contract cannot go to other holy places to learn Sage Jutsu. If you want to learn Sage Jutsu, you can only go to the Great White Snake. As for you, it's better to learn from the toad of Mount Myaboku. The Sage Jutsu of Mount Myaboku is very suitable for you. Alright. Jiraiya didn't feel disappointed. After all, he was quite satisfied with Mount Myaboku. The toads on Mount Myaboku were very kind to him. Except for giving him a feast of bugs, everything else was pretty good. Hatake Sakumo helplessly cleaned the mucus on his body. 4 people came over. 3 of them had the talent to learn Sage Jutsu, but he did not. This made Hatake Sakumo, who grew up with the title of genius, feel uncomfortable. Can't we make an exception? Although One Snake has been of great help to Orochimaru, One Snake's temperament is too naughty. In contrast, Orochimaru wants to learn the safe and secure Sage Jutsu. Compared with Ruji Cave, Sage Jutsu in Shiggulin is safer to learn. Okay, but not worth it. Katsuyu Sage shook his head and said, you are more suitable for Ruji Cave, and I don't like the aura on your body very much. The bosses of the 3 holy places are all old monsters who have lived for countless years. They can easily see through a person's quality. Orochimaru is a person with a lot of problems and big character flaws. This is something Katsuyu Sanin doesn't like. Orochimaru's face gradually darkened. He could accept Katsuyu Sage's rejection of him, but what the other party said was too straightforward. Ahem. Jingyi helped to explain, Katsuyu Sanin has a relatively upright character. He speaks like this. He doesn't hide his words and will say whatever is on his mind. Orochimaru nodded and accepted this statement. Unfortunately, the truth is often more hurtful than lies. Hey, Orochimaru, you better go to Ryuchi Cave and learn Sage Jutsu. The snakes in Ryuchi Cave must like you very much, because you also like to play with snakes. Jiraiya would definitely not miss an opportunity to laugh at Orochimaru. Katsuyu Sage, please send us back. Jingyi made this request decisively. Because Orochimaru could hardly bear it anymore and wanted to take action. Under normal circumstances, Orochimaru would not take Jiraiya's provocations and ridicule seriously at all. But at this time, he had just been rejected twice by Katsuyu Sage, and Katsuyu Sage bluntly said that he did not like Orochimaru. At this time, Orochimaru is on the verge of breaking out. Even Jiraiya jumped out and laughed at him, making it difficult for Orochimaru not to take action. Sai, as a human being, you need to brighten your cover. Bump. Along with a burst of white smoke, the four of them disappeared into the wet bone forest and returned to the camp. Returning to the rest room, Jingyi threw the three of them out.